that filth and rust in there. Yeah, I've got to clean all that up when you're changing the wheel bearings or the drive shafts. This side was even worse, but already given it a quick wipe. It's going to get a bit more cleaning. The seal's going to get replaced whenever you're replacing your, look, there's variables to this. Generally this seal, I'll say do that one whenever you're changing your wheel bearing. So with our wheel bearing assembly we supply with all the 6 different genuine parts pressed together, ready to go, DIY fitter comes with that, I'll call it the back seal, right? Sort of, let's sort of round behind here in there, right? So that's where it comes out. There's one on the drive shaft, okay? And then there's this one. Now, these ones are probably the originals. They look like, well, the car's done 300,000 Ks. See the sort of reddy colour there? All the grease, well, has that come out or has that been put in behind when someone's worked on it, done the drive shaft? We don't know. Not too sure, but they're probably originals. And you've got your hub, you've got your bearing, you've got the O-ring, you've got the seal down here. And see, that's where, see, this is a good example. See where all the mud goes, all the mud and the dirt through the rotor, and it sits right there. And that's where I reckon if there's anywhere water's getting into these bearings is there. And that's why with ours that we supply, as I said, that's the seal that goes on the back. Genuine O-rings, genuine seals, genuine seal in here. But I do this RTV thing there, right? And just seal that up to guarantee no water's getting through there, because we're not seeing water getting through the back here past this seal. We're not seeing anything get past the caps at the front. We've even got spare caps here in stock in case we're here in the workshop, or if somebody does purchase these wheel bearing assemblies from me for your Prado, you can actually say, hey, you know, can you throw a couple of caps in? But I can't remember. I think they're about 40 bucks each, so they're not cheap. So look after them if you can. That's what the old seal looks like. I'm not touching it. Gloves are off now. I had the gloves on a minute ago. Well, hang on, I'm touching it. What do I hear? Yucky. Mate, doctor's hands here at the Prado Hospital, right? You got that? You can see I do a little bit, but you know, gloves are right here, right? Which ones do you want? These ones, those ones, these ones. We've got packets of gloves here, mate, right? Keep that, look after the hands. So you wise up as you get old and you've been around, but look at these seals. They're completely destroyed. They are old, so what a waste of money it would be if you got some wheel bearings or some cheap, you know, whatever brands from eBay, and they didn't come with this rear seal, because you're just gonna, this is what's stopping the mess getting through, you know what I mean? So it's pretty straightforward stuff. What happens is the rubber wears, and there's a spring usually in behind there. I'm trying to find one. See that dirty black thing there? That's the spring, right? So it's broken away, and then they can rub on drive shafts as well. So if you're changing your drive shaft, you might want to consider these as well. See that spring there? That's what pulls the seal tight onto the drive shaft. So there's the drive shaft. They have been replaced. They're aftermarket. So I'd say he's put them in recently. And you might see, you know, you could possibly see some damage from that old seal. I don't think it's going to do too much because it's spinning. But again, I'm not touching it. But you could damage here and end up, could be a leak or something like that because, oh yeah, that looks better. Yeah, good work, mate. Bit more, keep going. Beautiful, beautiful, thank you. I mean, if you're going to travel around Australia, what do you want on your vehicle? Something that looks like that, right? Or, and you know, this is long gone, mate. This is 300K. That's why I say 200K is where we usually start to see problems. This one's been one of the lucky ones. I didn't check this. Did this have play in the wheel bearing? So it had play in the bearing. So there you go. So they were flogged anyway. They can be dry and noisy before there's even play in there. At least someone checked them. But you want to go away on a trip with that crap holding the front of your vehicle up, because at the end of the day, that's what supports the front end of the vehicle over all the dirt, the water, the corrugations, the mud. And when that collapses, it's all bad news, okay? Wouldn't you rather have something that looks like that? Beautiful. What was that? The driver's one had play? Correct.
Oh no,
passenger. This one had play, but the other one didn't. And this is the one that had all the grease in it. So because it had the play in it, and all the grease is slopping out everywhere and all that. So yeah, get your wet and dry, people, and keep rubbing. Technically, you could go, oh, that's clean enough, and just slop it in, and it probably is. And you could not clean it much. You could even just get this pink rag here and just give it a wipe and go, yeah, good enough, and slap it in. And that's how a lot of places will do it, and you get what you pay for. We're going to take the time to make sure, look, if this has lasted 300,000 Ks, if we want to get another 300,000 Ks out of it, the surface needs to be like that, not this lumpy stuff here, right? That's where that O-ring sits, right? You know that O-ring on the back of it, it sits right there on that taper, and if it's on a rough surface, you tell me, is it going to seal? I think the answer's right there. See a bit of, you know, rust and corrosion. There's not a lot, it's done pretty well, but right there where that rubber O-ring is, that's where it sits. And I suggest you check the playlist, whatever it's called on our YouTube channel, bloody, what's it called? Front hubs or front wheel bearing or front, something like that anyway. Because it gives you all the tips and the information about, you know, cleaning it all up. So that, put a little bit of grease there. So you got these two nice clean surfaces coming together and it pulls all the way in. Because if you've got crusty stuff here or on the other side of the car, it's not going to come in. That's not going to have the required amount of pressure on it to get it to seal. And it's not going to last as long as the original did. You might have noticed something. The other seal is made in Japan. That's good. Some things are unfortunate. But, you know, you can't win them all. You're good at that. I reckon you've had plenty of practice. Looking a bit better, looking a bit better. A little bit more, a little bit more. After we've done these front wheel bearings, we're going to go around and do a inspection on this vehicle, 300,000 Ks, and he's going to take it traveling. So we really want to make sure if there's anything that needs to be done, we pick it up if we can. So subscribe, turn the bell on, and we'll catch you on that video in case I forget to mention it in this video. But while it's pulled apart, I'll show you something. Did this have rack end play as well? Yep. Both sides or just this one? This side. So he's sort of done a bit of an inspection start off already. I haven't touched it, right? I said, let's get this done and then we'll have a look at it. But what I did do, one thing I did do when I had my glove on, and I'm not touching it now, so can you get your spare hand? Just give that a little twist, just a little bit back and forward. That's it. So there's a bit of play on the inner rack ends. When I do inner rack ends, what I recommend, maybe do the boot as well. I mean, it's not bad and it's genuine. Genuine parts is what I recommend. Or at least just redo that inner clamp because you can see twisting around. So that's something that's going to leak a bit of water if you park it in some water. And that's at the low end of the vehicle. A bit of water seeps in, water in your steering rack. Not ideal. So a bit of oil leaking out the rack. It's going to cost you a lot of money for a genuine one to replace it. Not too worried about that. But I'm more concerned if water can get into it, if you know what I mean. Hey Johnny, we're on video, mate. What are the top things people should not forget doing this job? Don't forget to put this on. I've done that a couple of times myself. I think it was on the first one I ever did. And maybe again a few years later, like, you know, I mean, momentarily, it's not a big deal, but you know, don't forget to put that on. Careful of your ABS lines and stuff like that. Make sure you get that out of the way where it's not going to get damaged moving big heavy calipers around. Don't bend your caliper. See that one there? It's a metal line. That's why we've got hanging off this. Any other tech tips besides torque it up to 235 Newton meters? Don't forget to tighten up those bolts. Yeah, it's a good one. I suppose that's one of the main ones. If you do up those 4 nuts, this nut 235 and your wheel nuts, you're most of the way there. Don't forget to put your caliper on. The 2 caliper mounting bolts, you know. Just because you've seen this video doesn't mean, you know, you can do it yourself or you're qualified. But if you're going to do it yourself, here's some information to help you. If you're watching the videos and you're doing stuff yourself, and that's what people do, just a bit of added info to help. But, you know, get in the videos in the playlist and you might want to pick up a bit more info. Rotors on. Have a check your brake pads while you're there. Looks like someone's put pads and rotors on this recently, pretty obvious. So we won't talk about that. We didn't do that, just saying, you know, just saying. Don't forget to put that bolt back in. If you've taken this other bolt, don't forget the clips for the ABS line. There's one around there. You can see on the other side of there. Right around here. Clip it in. Make sure this didn't get bent. You can replace them, I think, if sometimes we've come across cars where butchers have been at it and they've let the caliper hang and bent it and rebent. It's like got a really tight kink in it, not good. So replace those ones. Same thing over this side, so all the brakes look all right. Just want any new pins. I'm just wondering, did they come with those pads? Put in the comments, let me know if this is your car. Or if you've purchased any pads and it came with new pins like that. Because they certainly look shiny and new. Anyway, that's a video. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn the bell on, and we'll catch you on the inspection on this and see if we can find anything else that's going to let it down traveling around Australia for the next few years. Or indefinitely, forever.